Have you ever wondered who truly pulls the strings in Africa's economic landscape? There's an enigmatic family that has held colossal sway over Africa's fortunes for generations. A family whose name is as glittering as the diamonds they once mined. A family whose affluence and influence are as much a topic of fascination as they are of controversy. Yes, we're talking about the Oppenheimers. The Oppenheimers, a family synonymous with wealth and power, are the answer. To understand the Oppenheimers' influence, we must journey back to the 19th century. The Oppenheimer saga begins in the heartland of Europe, Germany, where the family first sprouted its roots. But, as fate would have it, this was not where their story was destined to unfold. The late 1800s saw a wave of German Jews, including the Oppenheimers, emigrate to South Africa. This was a time fraught with uncertainty, but also ripe with opportunity. Among these opportunities was the burgeoning diamond industry, a glittering frontier that was just beginning to reveal its potential. It was here that Ernest Oppenheimer, a man of vision and ambition, saw a chance to change the destiny of his family. He was not content to merely dip his toes into the diamond trade. No, he envisioned an empire, a dynasty that would dominate the industry and etch the name Oppenheimer into the annals of history. Ernest's entrance into the diamond industry was anything but subtle. He joined forces with the American financier J.P. Morgan and took the helm of De Beers, a company that at the time was already a formidable force in the diamond trade. Under Oppenheimer's leadership, De Beers would grow from a powerful player to an unrivaled titan, controlling a staggering 90% of the world's diamond production and distribution by the mid-20th century. Ernest Oppenheimer was not just a businessman, he was a master strategist. He understood the value of scarcity, of creating a demand that only he could supply. He knew that if he controlled the flow of diamonds, he controlled their value. And thus, he set about transforming De Beers into a diamond monopoly, a move that would not only ensure his family's wealth but also their influence over South Africa's economy. This was more than just a business venture, it was the birth of a dynasty that would not only shape the diamond industry but also the economic and political landscape of South Africa, and by extension the entire African continent. Thus began a legacy that would carve the economic landscape of an entire continent. The Oppenheimers didn't just enter the diamond industry, they became the diamond industry. A bold claim perhaps, but when we delve into the history of this remarkable family, it's hard to argue against it. Ernest Oppenheimer, the patriarch of the dynasty, first set foot in the diamond industry in the early 20th century, when he took the helm of the Anglo-American Corporation. With shrewd business acumen and an unyielding ambition, he led the company to acquire a majority stake in De Beers' Consolidated Mines by 1929. But the Oppenheimers didn't stop there. Rather, they expanded their dominion, creating a near monopoly over the global diamond trade. They were not content with merely being players in the game. They sought to control the entire playing field. Through a network of companies and diamond mines scattered across Africa and beyond, they exerted immense influence over the price and supply of diamonds worldwide. Their practices, however, have not been without controversy. Critics have pointed to their monopolistic tendencies and the immense wealth they amassed at the expense of the African continent. Yet despite these criticisms, the Oppenheimers maintained their iron grip on the diamond industry, steering it through world wars, economic depressions, and societal upheavals. Even as the world around them changed, the Oppenheimers remained steadfast in their pursuit of power and wealth. They were not passive spectators but active participants, shaping the industry to fit their vision and needs. Their influence extended far beyond the mines and the trading floors. It reached into the heart of global commerce and reshaped our understanding of luxury and desire. The Oppenheimers were not just businessmen, they were empire builders. Their legacy is a testament to the immense power that can be wielded by a single family, a power that has forever altered the landscape of the diamond industry. And so, as we gaze upon the shimmering brilliance of a diamond, we must remember the story of the family that brought it to us, the Oppenheimers. But the Oppenheimers were not just about wealth accumulation, they also had a philanthropic side. The family's philanthropic efforts are indeed noteworthy. Over the decades, they've funded numerous public works in South Africa, including schools, hospitals, and community centers. The Oppenheimer name is often linked with acts of charity, and for good reason. They've donated millions to education and healthcare, providing opportunities and resources for countless South Africans. Take a look at the Oppenheimer Memorial Trust, for instance, which has poured millions into research and development projects across the country. Or the Ernest Oppenheimer Hospital in Welcome, which continues to provide vital healthcare services to the local community. Yet there's a stark contrast between their philanthropic efforts and their business practices. The Oppenheimers' wealth was built on the diamond industry, an industry notorious for its exploitative labor practices. Workers toiled in harsh conditions, risking their lives for meager wages while the Oppenheimers' fortunes grew. In a way, you could see their philanthropy as an attempt to balance the scales, to give back some of what was taken. But can a handful of charitable deeds truly offset the exploitation inherent in their business practices? Can a hospital or a school erase the suffering of generations of diamond miners? Moreover, some argue that their philanthropy served a dual purpose. It wasn't just about giving back to the community, it was also about maintaining their social status and influence. By funding public works and charitable causes, they were able to present themselves as benevolent benefactors, diverting attention from the controversial sources of their wealth. So, while the Oppenheimers' philanthropy has undoubtedly benefited many South Africans, it's worth considering the bigger picture. Their charitable efforts, while commendable, are intrinsically tied to the wealth accumulated through their diamond empire. Beneath the philanthropic facade, however, lay a more complex reality. The Oppenheimers' legacy is not without controversy, an understatement to say the least. This family's name is synonymous with power and wealth, but it's also marred with accusations of exploitation, political manipulation, and economic disparity. Let's begin with the allegations of exploitation. The Oppenheimers have long been accused of unethical labor practices within their diamond mines. Stories of workers laboring under harsh conditions, earning meager wages while the family amassed unimaginable wealth, are well documented. These accusations paint a picture of a family more concerned with profit than the well-being of those who helped build their empire. Then we have the claims of political manipulation. The Oppenheimers have been said to wield their wealth and influence to shape the political landscape in their favor. From funding political campaigns to allegedly having a hand in policy-making, critics argue that the family's involvement in politics has been less about national interest and more about preserving their own wealth and power. And let's not forget the issue of economic disparity. The Oppenheimers' fortune is vast, yet they've built this wealth in a continent that is home to some of the world's poorest countries. Critics argue that the family has done little to address the stark economic inequality despite their resources and influence. However, it's important to remember that these are allegations. The Oppenheimers have consistently denied any wrongdoing, maintaining that they've always conducted their business ethically and responsibly. These controversies have certainly tainted the Oppenheimer legacy, yet they've also sparked important conversations about wealth, power, and responsibility. Conversations that are crucial in a world where the gap between the rich and the poor is ever widening. So, yes, the Oppenheimers' legacy is controversial, but it's also a mirror reflecting the complexities of power and wealth in our modern society. Yet, despite the controversies, the Oppenheimers' influence in Africa remains undeniable. Their legacy, whether admired or admonished, will continue to shape the continent's future. Today, the Oppenheimers continue to wield immense power and influence. In the current day, the Oppenheimers' legacy remains as strong as ever. The family's wealth continues to grow, with their interests spanning across various sectors, from finance to real estate and from agriculture to technology. They are a force to be reckoned with, not just in Africa, but on the global stage. Nicknamed the Rockefellers of the South, the Oppenheimers are renowned for their business acumen. Their companies, many of which are leaders in their respective fields, are testament to their strategic foresight and innovative thinking. This family has always been one step ahead of the curve, seizing opportunities and turning challenges into profitable ventures. Their influence, however, extends far beyond the realm of business. As one of Africa's wealthiest families, the Oppenheimers have a significant impact on the continent's economic landscape. Their investments have helped to shape industries and, in some cases, even the policies of nations. They have the power to sway markets, influence governments, and affect the lives of millions. Yet their vast wealth and influence have not come without controversy. The Oppenheimers have faced criticism for their business practices, with some accusing them of exploiting Africa's resources for their own gain. Despite these criticisms, the family has maintained its position at the pinnacle of Africa's economic hierarchy. The Oppenheimers have also shown a commitment to philanthropy, establishing numerous foundations and initiatives aimed at improving the lives of Africans. From education to healthcare, they have invested heavily in social causes, seeking to make a positive impact on the continent. Yet, for all their wealth and power, the Oppenheimers are a family shrouded in secrecy. Their private lives are closely guarded, and their business dealings often take place behind closed doors. This has only added to their mystique, making them an enduring subject of fascination and speculation. The Oppenheimers' story is a testament to the enduring power of wealth and influence. So, what can we take away from the Oppenheimers' story? Well, from the humble beginnings of a German tobacco merchant, the Oppenheimers have risen to become one of the most powerful families in Africa. Their story is intertwined with the history of the African continent itself, and it is impossible to discuss one without mentioning the other. The family's foothold in the diamond industry began with Ernest Oppenheimer, who saw the potential in the glittering stones and transformed De Beers into a global diamond monopoly. His vision and relentless drive laid the foundation for the family's wealth and influence. Their power extended beyond the diamond mines and into the realm of philanthropy. They established schools, hospitals, and scientific research facilities, pushing the boundaries of what corporate responsibility could mean. Yet beneath the sheen of their philanthropic endeavors, there were always questions. Questions about the disparity between the wealth they enjoyed and the poverty that surrounded their minds. Questions about their business practices and the impact on the communities they operated in. Controversy is no stranger to the Oppenheimers. From allegations of price fixing to their handling of the apartheid era, their legacy is not without its dark patches. Yet they remain a formidable presence on the African continent, their influence felt in every aspect of society. Today, the Oppenheimer family continues to wield significant influence in Africa, albeit in a more discreet manner. Their interests have diversified, spanning from technology to tourism, but their roots in the diamond industry remain. Nicky Oppenheimer, the current patriarch, embodies the family's legacy while navigating the complexities of the modern world. The Oppenheimers' journey is not just about wealth, it's about power, influence, and resilience. It's about a family that has witnessed the transformation of a continent and has played a significant role in shaping its path. Their story serves as a lens through which we can examine Africa's economic history and the intricate web of power, wealth, and influence that continues to shape its future. But most importantly, their story forces us to question the role of corporations in society, the responsibility that comes with immense wealth, and the impact a single family can have on the fate of a continent. The Oppenheimers' story is not just a tale of wealth and power, it's a reflection of Africa's complex economic landscape.